Let us understand dispersion of white light by a glass prism. What is dispersion of white light? It is splitting of light into its constituent colors. We all know that the white light is made up of 7 different colors. So, the splitting of light into its component colors is called dispersion. You can make use of word components or constituent colors. In general, we need to remember the definition, which is the splitting of light into its component colors is called dispersion. The prism has probably split the incident white light into a band of colors. The colors appear are in the sequence as violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And we use the acronym WIBGYOR to remember the colors of this band. The band of the colored components of a light beam is called its spectrum. In the figure, spectrum is shown. So, what it is? The band of colored components of a light beam. In general word, we can remember it as the pattern of colors which is obtained is known as spectrum. So when a white light incidents, and as a result the band of colors which we get, so the pattern is termed as spectrum. So we'll remember it as the band of colored components. They are components which are colors and which we get it from light beam, that is called spectrum. So these two definitions, dispersion and spectrum, you will remember. Here you can see clearly when a white light incidents on the surface of the prism, it gets dispersed into 7 components. You might have a question that why do we get these colors? That is because different colors of light bend through different angles with respect to the incident ray as they pass through a prism. We have only a ray of white light. When it incidents on the surface of the prism, all the colors have different angles with respect to this incident ray when they pass through a prism. The red light bends the least while the violet the most. So you need to remember here that the red light that bends minimum, least means minimum, whereas the violet light bends the maximum. So that is the bending of different color lights. And that is why the rays of each color emerge along different paths and thus become distinct. Distinct means different, which can be clearly seen. So here we can conclude that for dispersion to be happen, what is actually done? When the white light incidents on the surface of a prism, all the different colors have different angles with incident ray. And if we consider red and violet color, red color light bands minimum and violet color light bands maximum. And that is why all the colors have emerged in different paths. Now we have learned what is angle of emergence in refraction by a prism, right? So all colors will emerge differently, and that is why they become distinct. which we can see. It is the band of distinct colors that we see in a spectrum. As we have discussed that a spectrum is the pattern of colors which is obtained. Who did this experiment to get this? So you need to remember this, that Isaac Newton was the first to use a glass prism to obtain the spectrum of sunlight. Please remember that Isaac Newton was the first to use a glass prism to obtain the spectrum of sunlight. What did he do? He tried to split the colors of the spectrum of white light further by using another similar prism. So what did he do in that experiment? He used two prisms. So we know that when a white ray incidents, it disperses in 7 colors of band. So he made arrangement as shown in the figure, and with first white ray incident, he got dispersion of 7 colors. Again, that spectrum of colors he used further. And when that band of colors incident on another prism, he did not get 7 colors of band. Instead of that, what did he get? He get white light back again. So actually what happens? Newton tried to split the colors of the spectrum of white light by using another similar prism. What did he do? He placed a second prism in an inverted position, as you can clearly see in the figure. Now, what happened? That second prism allowed all the colors of the spectrum to pass through it. And as a result, what did he get? He found a beam of white light emerging from the other side of the second prism. In short, when a white ray incidents on the first prism, we get 7 colors by dispersion. That 7 colors when he used to incident on another prism, which was kept in inverted position as shown in the figure. When as he kept this another prism and that colors incident on the prism, he got a white beam of light which is emerged from the second prism. From this experiment, Newton gave the idea that the sunlight is made up of 7 colors. Any light that gives a spectrum similar to that of sunlight is often referred as white light. Any light which gives a spectrum that is referred as white light. So this is all about dispersion of white light by a glass prism and recombination of white light, which we learned just now, that it was done by using two prisms. Then again he got white light, that is recombination of white light.